Evening everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review. Here today is the Williams FW11B from the 1987 Formula 1 World Championship, and in the car, or should be in the car, is Nelson Piquet. Now the FW11B went into 1987 as pretty much the favourite, after well, being the most dominant car of 1986, although losing out to the Drivers' Championship in the final round to Alain Prost in what was the ageing, by that time, MP4 or McLaren MP4-2. Which by that time I think was already into its C specification. It was a 3-year-old car, and it beat everybody still. But yeah, McLaren went into 87 with the new MP4-3, which sadly was not up to the task. Williams carried on with their FW11 and converted it to the B spec car, which visually was virtually the same car. But find the technical specifications slightly narrower, slightly shorter, as per the rules I think that time. Basically a slightly reduced track and wheelbase, but apart from that nothing else really changed. Although I think there should have been or at least on the model there should be a pop-off valve on the engine cover somewhere. I've seen pictures of it. I'm pretty sure the 87 cars had the pop-off valve, which was there to reduce turbo boost. But whether this is a manufacturing error or I've just got my wires crossed, who knows? And I'm pretty sure nobody cares, and I don't know why I'm asking people, because there's no one else in the room, so yeah, there we go. But yeah, the car went into the 87 as the best car, but didn't win the first round though, because that went to McLaren with their new car, which, although I said wasn't up to the task, it still won its first race, but only 3 wins for McLaren that year. And Nelson Piquet was the more consistent driver that year. Although Mansell probably won more races, it was Piquet who picked up second places, third places where he needed to. Although he did miss the San Marino Grand Prix due to a massive accident at Tamburello, and that I think what that come down to was well, didn't what come down to, but what followed afterwards was Piquet not at his best. I think he admitted that later on. He was just driving for the money after that, but he still won the championship in 87. And the specification car that we have here, according to the box, is the Japanese Grand Prix version, which neither Mansell or Piquet won that year. Well, Mansell didn't take part in the Japanese Grand Prix due to injury, and that's pretty much what ruined Mansell's championship that year. He crashed in practice and put his back out, and he missed the next 2 races. But it was enough still for Piquet to win the championship, even though he didn't score points in the last 2 races. And I'm waving the plaque around like it's a bloody dangerous weapon here, but sorry. Yeah, the plaque for the model is a big piece of wood, so I'll come back to that later on. But yeah, the MP411 was sort of the pinnacle of the turbo cars, because I think it was 86 with the MP411 was the absolute most powerful Formula 1 cars ever built, and then in 87 they reduced the turbo boost, so hence the pop-off valve, which I thought would be on this model, but it's not. But yeah, the 86 cars were the absolute pinnacle of turbo, and then 87 they watered it down a bit, and then 88 they watered it down even more, and hence the banning of turbos at that time. But the 87 cars were the last of a certain breed as well. If you look at the nose profile of this car, it's a very short nose from the cockpit. This is the sort of the last in that era, because from 88 the nose was extended so that the driver's feet were behind the line of the front axle, so the nose was further forward and the front wheels were further forward as well, so there's more sort of crash structure. So that was this is sort of the last of that era, so there we go. And that's that. So that's the MP411. So onto the model itself. This is a Spark model, and I'll come back to the car in a moment, but we'll just quick look at the box. The box itself is a big white thing. I'm sure some of you have seen it already in other videos, but this is the Spark FW11B. There's nothing actually on the box that tells you what it is apart from the pictures. So you've got the car on the top there, which is the photograph, Piquet in the car, and then on either side got the animated computer images of the car there, nicely detailed there, and the same on the front, Spark model and all that. Same on the back, at the back end of the car, and then on the other side you have the other side of the car, or the same side as the other car, or the same side as the other side, whichever you want to look at. If I just turn it around again, and yeah, it's facing the same way. But that's the box, and a quick look on the underside as well. All the usual guff that you get with these things, Minimax and all that. And this is the only thing here, this small label down here is the only thing that tells you what the car actually is. FW11B, number 6, Japan GP 1987, so that's the only thing that identifies what this is. If you didn't know what you're looking at, that is. Right, so plonk the thing down there, and I'll put the car back, and there goes the car itself. Now I believe this is a resin model, hence why it's quite heavy, and doesn't make a metal sound, but it's a beautiful looking car nonetheless. It's a static model as well, so the wheels don't turn, the wheels do not rotate at all, so they're stuck where they are. Not a big issue, because I mean, like a lot of people say, it's just going to sit in a cabinet or sit in a box, and it's never going to be played with. No, I don't play with my models, don't worry. But yeah, it's just a perfect display piece. Nicely blue, nice crisp yellow colours, nice crisp decals, and very nicely put together. So if I quick zoom down, start at the tyre, why not? Start at the wheels and the tyres, got the wheel design there, or the wheel details, the nuts and things, the Goodyear Eagle, the scrubbed slick tyres, got the front wing end fence there, detailing along the side, and then all along the side panels there, up to the diffuser and to the rear wheels. Now we'll point out before we go any further, I think the rear wheels on these models, the Spark models especially, well definitely the Spark models, the rear wheels are not quite to the proportions of the car, because I think I got the same feeling with the Leighton House, which I will do a review later on. The rear wheels, and I think the front wheels as well, to be honest, are not quite to the same the same scale as the actual car. I think they're a bit too small, but I'll let you judge that in a minute when we get to that. So have a quick look around the car again. So I'll just turn the car nose on, so we get the full profile of the actual Williams. There you go, the nose all there, very iconic nose detailing there, the cannon and the front wing, big number 6 there. I prefer it to have been a number 5, but no, well, who cares. But there we go, so look over the top, down into the cockpit there, got all the detailing there, nicely detailed seat belts. Yep, they're all separate there, not a sticky decal. And all the details at the side, there's funnels on the sides, top of the engine cover. Got rivet detailing, although not painted rivets, they are detailed onto or moulded onto the bodywork. And up to the rear wing there, all the details around the rear suspension, sorry. Springs and wires and cables, the rear axle, drive shaft, brake details there. Just zoom back out, and we turn the car around to get the rear profile. And then, if you look at it, do you reckon the wheels are too small? I reckon they are slightly too small, but you know, it's my opinion. I don't know if you agree with me, but of course the cars of this era were known for having really fat tyres, and I just think they're slightly too small, but hey ho. So a quick look at the cockpit detailing, looking down into the footwell there. Got the Williams badge on the steering wheel there. Got the rev counter just behind that, and a little readout there. Got steering wheel and brake levers, brake bias levers, gear lever just there. Oh, damn it, focus. So gear lever just there, brake bias there. Actual reflecting mirrors, so they've actually put a proper reflective sticker on the wing mirrors. So that's all that. You've got a bit of detailing there, you've got the ring pull there, for the engine cut out. And a beautiful bit of detailing. Even the bubbles on the side, it managed to apply the decals properly on that. The denim logo there. Look through the rear wing, you're through to the gearbox. Got the gearbox just down there. The rain light as well. Riveted details. And yeah, beautiful car. So have a quick look underneath as well, as I normally do. So I'm just going to try and grab hold of this as best I can without fucking it up. Excuse my language. So just tippy up there, because it's quite a heavy car of course, and as you can see on the bottom, it's a flat bottom car, screw holes, and Spark written there, and I don't think there's any more writing on there, can't really see any. You've got the diffuser there, the exhaust outlets there, gearbox and all sorts, front suspension there, a bit of scuffing on the bottom there, I think that's just bad paint application, but hey ho, there we go. And you've got the Barclay brown stripe on the underside of the suspension as well, just below the number 6 there, you can just see it. So you've got the what would be a tobacco advertising there, and if I just go to the box, they did actually come with a set of decals for the Barclay branding, so I may apply these, I don't know, I don't think it really matters, you know, if you want to add these, then by all means, but I think I just leave them in the bag or in the box. So that's that. The plinth the car comes on is just, like I said, a big slab of wood as per Spark models, and all that's written on the base is that. So you've got the FW11B number 6 Japan Grand Prix 1987 World Champion Nelson Piquet, and that's pretty much it. Just a big lump of wood, and it is proper wood as well. I mean, when you undo the screws, you got a load of sawdust comes off, and it's all over the bloody canvas. Look, never mind. But yeah, definitely one to get. Mini Champs have released their version of this car. Whether it's the, I'm not sure whether it's the 11B or just the 11. I'm not sure, but if you want something that's is probably slightly more in proportion with the tyres, then I'd go for the Mini Champs one. But I think for, you know, more crisp details, and I think the more better application of decals and things, and all the detail around the back there, I think you should go for the Spark one. But price wise, I'm not really sure what to go on these, because once again, this wasn't, I didn't buy this, it was another gift, so I don't really know the actual price, and I've been out of the market for a bit, so I'm sort of not up to date with the prices of these things. But if you can pick either the Mini Champs or this one up, then by all means, if or not, just pick up both and compare them yourself. But yeah, that's definitely one to get, especially of this era of Formula 1. There's not enough cars from this era to be quite honest. In recent years, all we have is the FW11. You've got the McLaren MP4-3, which is a new release, and the Lotus 99T. Which is a reissue of a reissue of a reissue, really. It's basically the Senna collection being reissued all the time, so I think they're the only 3 cars available from 1987. A few more wouldn't go amiss. I mean, Benetton, March, well, pretty much any car from the 1987 grid would do, really, in this scale. And what, any car from any season, really. I mean, the optimal car I would want in 118 is Damon Hill's Arrows from 1997, but of course we won't get that. Maybe one of the other companies will do that, I don't know. I mean, they've just released the Lamborghini from 1991, which is probably the least competitive car from 1991, or at least one of them anyway, but they've still gone ahead and released one. So who knows, we may get a 40 Ford or a Simtek. You don't know what you're going to get in 118 scale in these modern times. Price wise though, it's going to be rather crippling, but we'll see. But yeah, enough of the rambling and ranting. Just adjust my back because I'm going to put it out if I carry on. But yeah, it's yeah, enough of the ranting, but yeah, definitely one to get, and it would go nicely with either the Mini Champs or the Spark version. I'll say nice with it, but it would go with the other cars from the season as well. So, like I say, either get the Mini Champs or the Spark one, and I'm pretty sure you can pick up either the Mansell or the Piquet. Definitely for the Mini Champs one anyway, you can pick up both drivers. I think the Spark one is Piquet only, but I'm not sure on that one. But yeah, it's definitely one to get, and can't really say much more than that. But there we go. So I think we'll leave it at that. So this is Rich signing off, logging off, disappearing, and I shall return with another video. So bye for now.